Back with the market, right here on ET now. Good handover from the global cues. The US markets have had a 4-day winning streak as they head into the Thanksgiving holidays. A good set of cues there. Asia as well seems to be following up with the same kind of momentum. In fact, Japan is holding a solid 1.5% up in the green as we speak right now. And the GIFT Nifty already indicating an all-time high, or actually well past that mark for the Nifty as well on open. 26,426 on the GIFT Nifty as we speak right now. But still in conversation with Kunal Bothra, and let's talk about what else has been looking attractive. We've been talking about the opening of the market breadth. And if I just look at, Kunal, some of the names from within the broader markets, Nuvama, MCX. What's the reading on the chart here? Because this is a big move that you saw. In fact, MCX, I think, made it to an all-time high.
Yeah, third consecutive year for the stock from 1800 levels 3 years back to now 10,000 plus, where the stock has done. So it's been a
remarkable goal now.
it's remarkable. I mean, the move has, MCX was a very high beta stock. I remember, I think 2014-15 also, there was movement of 15-20% in a matter of weeks for the stock price. Now, for that behavior to change and being more consistent stock, in the last 2-3 months also, when the markets have been so volatile, we hardly have seen a zone where MCX has fallen by 10-15% in a matter of couple of days. For that to happen now, it takes an elongated time. It takes a stretch of almost 2-3 months for the stock to correct. That tells you that the behavior of the stock changes when it receives or when it comes back into a new zone of an all-time high, because traders, they change. The traders who were trading the stock earlier, they change their behavior. Now we have investors who are wanting to hold the stock and then not wanting to trade the stock every now and then. So that has changed for MCX, and I think that's one of the reasons why I believe that the stock will keep on gradually moving up higher, devoid of whether gold prices stagnate at current levels or gold prices rise, because it's now got into a new zone altogether. Nuvama, on the other hand, I think has been a stock which is just in a range, consolidating for the last 2-3 months. It has potential. The stock moved up towards, I think, 8,000, 8,500 in the month of August or September somewhere. And I think from there, the stock had gone through a correction, but still looks very attractive at current levels.
We have now, I think, Hemani Thakkar, Senior Practice Leader and Director at CRISIL, joining us today. Hemani, thank you very much. The government has come out with its plan for the rare earth material. What's your first take on them?
It's a very positive move, and I think, it's truly going to be a move towards Atmanirbharta. And I think, over the last couple of months, we've been struggling to, kind of get access to rare earth because of geopolitical tensions and relatively a single source, being the source for import. So I think with this, we are structurally moving on the right direction, I would say.
We'll talk about the centre's approval of that sizable 7,000 to 80 crore rupees scheme to boost rare earth magnets manufacturing here in India, and how the scheme is going to benefit mainly the auto component industry and so on and so forth. But that said, let's talk about what else has been holding out in the market. We've talked about Infosys, so that's definitely one stock which is going to be in focus. But Whirlpool, wherein the promoters are planning to sell about almost 7.5% stake in Whirlpool India at a floor price of 1,030. Snehi, what's the significance of this?
So, Aisha, this is going to be the second major block deal coming in from this particular promoter. Remember, all the way up to March 2024, they held up to 75% stake. So, a majority shareholder by quite a margin. And even after pairing about 24% stake in March 2024, they still continue to hold about 50 to 51% stake. Now, out of that, they are going to be selling 7.5% stake today. And after this trimming, it's going to come up to 43.5%. And they will still continue to be the majority shareholders. So, this is earlier in March 2024, they did say that the block deal was happening to fund some of the debt that the company owed. Let's see what the rationale is this time around. But yes, the floor price is likely to be around 1,030 rupees per share. Estimated deal size around 965 crores. And Whirlpool Mauritius, the biggest shareholder for Whirlpool of India, is going to be executing this deal. Remember last time the buyers and seller, the buyers included names like Aditya Birla Sun Life, ICICI Prudential, DSP Mutual Fund. So all eyes are going to be on who the participants are this time.
Oh yeah, absolutely, given that it's a sizable block. But let's get back to rare earth and what's going to be the impact? What are the stocks that you need to look out for because of this announcement? We've got Raghav Kalra from our research desk to analyze that piece.
stocks to watch out for, as Government of India has given a nod to 7,280 crore scheme to promote manufacturing of sintered rare earth permanent magnets (REPMs). The stocks to look out for under the scheme will be Hindustan Zinc, moving positively and has secured India's first private sector monazite rare earth mining block in Uttar Pradesh with direct rare earth processing capabilities, and it will benefit from its increased demands from domestic rare earth supplies under the PLI scheme. Well, another stock to look out for will be Gujarat Mineral Development Corporation (GMDC). It's a stock that's moving positively, and it's building India's first dedicated rare earth processing hub and actively participating in critical mineral auctions. Its direct operational expansion and its strategies will help this stock to again move positively in this particular sector. Another stock to look out for will be NLC India, moving positively. It secured its new phosphorite and limestone blocks with plans to source rare earths domestically and overseas. Its dual sourcing strategies and new mining block position by NLC will help it to capture more market. Moving positively again. Vedanta is also moving positively. It's the parent company of Hindustan Zinc with aggressive expansion into critical mineral and rare earth mining processing. Hence, Vedanta will be a stock to look out for. Another stock which has recently undergone IPO is Midwest Limited, moving positively. It's India's largest black galaxy granite producer and is expanding into high purity quartz, and hence will be a stock to look out for under the PLI scheme proposed by the government. Secondary beneficiaries that we should be looking out for will be National Mineral Development Corporation. It has global rare earth exploration plans. Coal India, which has its collaboration with India Rare Earth Limited. Magnesium Ore India Limited, which is involved into diversification into magnesium to rare earth conversions. Hindustan Copper and Sona Comstar are also to look out for, as they are applicants, PLI applicants for rare earth magnets. Bharat Forge is also a stock to look out for because of the impact this particular scheme will have on the auto sector. JSW Group, ONGC, Oil India, Sundar, Magnesium Iron Ores, and IMFA are also stocks to look out for in terms of secondary beneficiaries when we talk about it.
Right. Okay, Raghav, thanks for analyzing that piece. In fact, let me take the conversation back and... right, we've got Hemani Thakkar back with us. Hemal, hi, morning. Can you hear me? We couldn't get your audio last time.
Yeah, I can hear you, ma'am. I can
Great.
hear you.
So can we. But yeah, Hemal wanted to discuss this space, this center approval last evening of 7,280 odd crore rupees for the rare earth permanent magnets manufacturing. Tell me, how do you see this scheme benefiting firstly the auto industry and components as well?
Sure. So, thank you for having me. I would say that this 7,280 crore scheme is a major push towards self-reliance, for the automotive industry at an overall level, because this, kind of, in a way, is a push to establish a domestic production capacity of close to 6,000 metric tons per annum, for this REPMs, if I have to say so. Now, what is very, very important to understand is that, this scheme focuses on the entire process, right from, converting rare earth oxide into metals, and then forming these metals into alloys, and then finally processing these alloys into finished REPMs, which is, a significant step. Also, what is very, very important is, the government has said that, this will be for a period of about 7 years, wherein about 6,500 crores will be, for incentives, which will be sales linked, and about 750 crores is going to be for establishment of this capacity. And there'll be about 5, kind of companies, will be kind of chosen through a globally competitive bidding process, for the same. Now, what is very, very important to understand is, basis the conversations that I've been having with, industry across, what I come to know is, neodymium, which is a relatively light rare earth magnet, will see a lot of benefit because of this localization. And hence, it will be a huge benefit for the likes of two-wheeler and three-wheeler, where, there is near negligible impact on performance. Of course, you will have to do better thermal management as compared to what you were doing earlier. But, neodymium, the localization of that may become a relatively more earlier as compared to, dysprosium and terbium, which are more used in, performance motors, which, have to withstand high temperatures. And also, from that perspective, localization will start there, but that could be relatively slower as compared to what it may be in terms of benefit for two-wheelers and three-wheelers. What is also critical here to understand is that in case of two-wheelers, though there is a lot of UN cry around it, you will see that the use of permanent magnets is anywhere, rare earth permanent magnets is anywhere in the range of 150 grams to 500 grams per electric two-wheeler. But when it comes to passenger vehicles, it is in the range of about 2 to 2.5 kg, per vehicle. So from that perspective, the intensity of rare earth is much higher in a passenger vehicle as compared to a two-wheeler. And at the same time, the lighter rare earth can be more applicable in two-wheelers as compared to, the passenger vehicle industry. So it will be relatively more positive initially for the two and three-wheeler industry, but with better thermal management systems, I think, even the passenger vehicle industry will catch up over the mid to long term.
Hemal, if you look at the process, it's a very long gestation process to not only mine them but also the process and then go the extra mile, converting them into magnets. There, do you see a lot of interest coming in from the private sector? Because currently, this entire sector is being limited to public sector companies.
Completely agree, completely agree. Because if you look at the entire process, one very important part in sinterization of magnets is that there are inert gases that are used for this entire process during the manufacturing process of, and you will see that inert gases like argon and nitrogen are actually used here. And the use of inert or oxygen-free atmosphere is very, very crucial to prevent the highly reactive raw materials and fine powders from oxidizing or spontaneously igniting when exposed to air. And hence, if you see in such cases, we may see a lot of private participation kind of coming in this space. Just to give you a parlance, maybe not completely relevant, but we saw that a lot of facility was set up for producing oxygen when COVID came in. I would say this is an opportunity for people who are also in the inert gas space to set up huge capacities to support the overall ecosystem of sintered magnets.
And Hemal, given the demand that we have for these rare earth precious metals across categories, does this capacity target that has been announced right now meet India's medium-term demand, or is it only the first step in the overall journey and more capex is going to be needed here?
So if you ask me, automotive sector will be one large, kind of contributor to the overall, rare earth magnets, kind of demand going forward. As per our analysis, even if we say that, somewhere about 15% of passenger vehicles, about 25% of two-wheelers, and about 40% of three-wheelers get converted to electric by financial year 30. I think 6,000 tons MTPA capacity should be enough, to kind of address this issue at large. And of course, there are other sectors also which will be using this rare earth magnets. But when I look at from an automobile sector perspective, and if I say that about 90% of the capacity is going to be used for this, then I think it should be sufficient for the electric vehicle industry that we are looking at in India.
Right.